India, of course, is in the midst of an election that's arguably the biggest in the world. Beyond the enormous number of voters, the voting could be a changing point for the nation. Let's go to someone who knows the story better than anyone. Lalit Jha is a Chief U.S. Correspondent for Press Trust of India. So, hi, how are you? Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for inviting me.
So, we're talking about the largest democracy in the world, some 800 million voters. What are the big issues, Lalit, in this election?
In this elections, there are a couple of big issues. One biggest issue is the development, governance, and corruption. These are three major issues which are being debated and people are debating inside India right now.
It seems every year, or not every year, but every time there's an election, corruption seems to be quite big. Why is that?
You know, in the last couple of years, media has played a big role in exposing these big scandals and corruption issue that has come to light, and people are really frustrated with the level of corruption that has increased in the past several years.
Okay, so let's talk about India's main opposition party, BJP. It's led by Narendra Modi. If he comes to power, as is widely expected, what kind of foreign policy do you think he would have? And why is he a controversial figure himself?
You know, in 2002, the state he comes from, he was the chief minister there, and there were riots in which hundreds of people were killed from one particular section of the society. That's one of the issues which is coming up in the elections, also in the human rights, and people are also concerned about that. But besides that, he has moved ahead himself. He's running this election the plank of development, good governance, and fighting against corruption.
What about his position on foreign policy if he's elected?
We haven't heard much from him about what his foreign policy would be, how it will look like. But if you see how his predecessor, like the NDA government, when the BJP's former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee was running the government, I don't visualize any much major change in India's foreign policy as such. But there could be some little bit of focus on one or two issues like relationship with the neighbors. I think their more focus would be on economic issues.
Economic issues. And do you think India's electorate is different today compared to a decade ago?
Yes, indeed. You know, now in this election, 65% of these 110 million voters are less than 35 years of age.
They're young people.
Yes. And when the current Prime Minister of India, Manmohan Singh, started economic liberalization reforms in 1991, these were the school-going children. They were all going into schools. So they are all products of the liberalization movement, what we have seen. They are much more informed now. They are more demanding. They want jobs. They want proper lifestyle. So that's the change, what has changed now.
And what happens if neither party gets the majority of the votes? How hard will it be to form a coalition government?
You know, since 1985, 1985 was the last time, 1984 was the last time when any political party got a majority in the parliament. After that, in 1989, there have been several elections in the last 3 decades. None of the political party has been able to secure a majority, more than 50% of seats. And since then, we have been successfully running a coalition government. Earlier, it was led by the BJP, then it was last 10 years being led by the Congress. So even this year also, if the opinion polls which are coming up right now are of any indication, no political party is going to get a single majority. That's the 272 is the magic figure for them. But there are pre-poll alliances which both the BJP and the Congress are having that. And even if they don't get if these pre-poll alliances don't get a majority, that's the 272 figures, there are also possibility of there could be some post-poll alliances.
All right, Lalit Jha, we know you will be watching it closely. We will too. He's a correspondent for Press Trust of India. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.